over the weekend. It was a big weekend in sports. We're on Wednesday already, so the weekend's kind of passed. The next weekend's closer than the last weekend that's just previously passed. But some of the biggest news of that weekend, Julio Jones has been traded to the Tennessee Titans. And that is amazingly large news. I mean, Julio Jones has been traded to the Tennessee Titans, and the Titans sent 2 picks to the Falcons, a 2022 second rounder and a 2023 third rounder. Now, are the Titans now legit contenders? That is the question at hand here. And to be honest, I don't necessarily know the answer to that. What I do know is that they now have a great receiving core in A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. I like the small risk that they gave up to get Julio Jones here. They gave up a second rounder and a and a 2023 third rounder. 2 separate drafts. Really not a lot to lose for them at all. Not a lot at all. So it was a win-win situation for the Tennessee Titans with this trade. Julio Jones said he wanted to go play with a quarterback that had a strong arm and could throw the ball downfield on a consistent basis because he wanted to run under the thing. Ryan Tannehill can do that. That fits that style of offense where they can go into play action and chuck that thing downfield because they do have one of the best pure runners in the backfield in Derrick Henry. They lost a couple weapons this year, though, in the offseason. They lost Corey Davis, who was finally coming along and looking like a legit number 2 wide receiver. Now he's in New York. He's their number 1. They maybe a bit overpaid for him, but hey, I think he's worth every dime because he's a good receiver, former first-round pick, former top 5 pick as well. They also lost Jonnu Smith, tight end, versatile tight end, could play H-back, line up at wide receiver, could play tight end, can block, can catch, very good tight end, good hands, good blocking ability, and they lost him as well. But you add in Julio, now you have A.J. Brown and Julio, along with Derrick Henry in the backfield, Ryan Tannehill as your quarterback. You know, I don't think you can be too upset at this point if you're a Tennessee Titans fan. Does it make your team legit? I don't know. That defense is still questionable. They didn't, in my mind, they haven't made significant improvements. They brought in some more talented players. Caleb Farley through the draft, the Virginia Tech corner. He's a stud. Bud Dupree, also a stud. Bud Dupree, a lot of people saying Bud Dupree is iffy. He played across TJ. It helped him a lot. Yeah, he played with very good players in Pittsburgh. But Bud Dupree is a very talented pass rusher. He's going to do well in Tennessee. Is he going to put up double-digit numbers? I'm not willing to say that. But is he going to be much better than any pass rusher they had on their roster last year? 100% sure on that one. Caleb Farley, yeah, he's a corner, but he's going to make an impact. He's a man. He can be a man-to-man guy, zone guy, doesn't matter. He'll shut an entire side of the field down, though, just from the tape that I saw. Yeah, he didn't play last year due to, I'm pretty sure he opted out because of COVID, which, you know, certain teams have already pretty much shown that they don't respect any of the guys that opted out for COVID reasoning. And, you know, that the NFL said that wouldn't happen, but this is a people person thing. Like, you know, it's people are still kind of in charge, and whatever they view as their opinion is their opinion. If they have a problem with that, so be it. Tennessee clearly does not. Caleb Farley is a talented player. You can't pass on a guy like that, and I hope it works out for them. But defensively, I still think there's too many question marks to say this team is a legit contender, although now they do have an insanely good wide receiver core, but they are not the best. I'm not going to go out on a limb and say that because Julio was not healthy last year. Who knows if Julio can maintain to be healthy all of this year. A.J. Brown is a very good receiver, but sometimes, you know, I thought he was a little underrated, and then the more and more this offseason has gone on, the more and more praise he has been getting, and especially now that he has Julio, people are acting like he's a top 5 guy. But in my opinion, he's not better than Justin Jefferson currently is right now. And when you talk about the best receiving corps in football, one of the ones that come to my mind is Minnesota. Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, Irv Smith Jr. at tight end. Very good receiving corps. You also think of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Rob Gronkowski at tight end, Mike Evans out wide, Chris Godwin, Scotty Miller, Antonio Brown, O.J. Howard, the list goes on, Cameron Brate, good receiving core, tight ends, wide receivers included. You look at the Buffalo Bills. They have a great receiving core as well. Stephon Diggs, a proven, maybe one of the better, maybe a top 3 receiver in the league currently right now. And Cole Beasley, maybe the best slot receiver in the entire league. Then you look at the Cowboys. They have CeeDee Lamb. They have Amari Cooper. They have Michael Gallup, a solid receiving core in Dallas. So I honestly, just to prove my point here, I don't think you could say that Tennessee right now, they have the top receiving core. I get the people that are saying it are just, riding on the hype of that trade. I understand it completely. And I think that it is a top receiving core. It could end up being top 3, top 5. Who knows? But I personally think it goes Tampa Bay, Minnesota, Buffalo, maybe Tennessee, Cowboys. Then you think about Seattle as well with DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. I think it's very hard because to say, like, rank the receiving core in the NFL, obviously, because I clearly haven't thought it over as much as I thought I have. And I wasn't going to give a legit ranking. Maybe I'll do that in my next episode. I will rank my top 5 wide receiver core for my next episode. But in this one, I'm just kind of running down through the list. You think of the Seattle, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. You think of Arizona as well now with A.J. Green and DeAndre Hopkins and, wow, Christian Kirk. I mean, what a receiving core that is. Washington as well, Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin. The Panthers with DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, very underrated. Then, you have some other teams with, like, the Steelers with Chase Claypool and Juju Smith-Schuster. And there is some legit receiving cores out there. Let's be honest. There's a lot of good wide receivers currently in the NFL. It's a good time. I mean, it's a good time to be a receiver if you're a kid in college or high school because, teams need to stack weapons upon weapons right now to compete. And the teams that are good and the teams that are playing in the Super Bowl have done that. Tennessee Titans made a great move going to get Julio just to add depth and to add another star on the outside. I absolutely love the move. Huge fan of the fact that he's also wearing number 2 now. I love that 100%. Yeah, I think it's awesome. I thought he was going to wear 8. That's his old college number. I knew he wasn't going to get 11 because I felt like he wasn't going to take that away from A.J. Brown because I think he has enough respect for A.J. Brown to be like, hey, you were here first. This is your number. You can keep it. A.J. Brown tweeted out that he's going to wear number 11 for the rest of his life, which I think, hey, that's awesome. And I think the way that Julio picked 2, 1 + 1 = 2, he wore 11. That could be it. Maybe he just picked 2 because he liked the look of 2. I think he's going to look awesome in a single-digit number. I think it's going to be weird, though, because I'm so used to seeing Julio in Atlanta Falcons jersey. But, like, the way the world works now, you see somebody in a different jersey, you get over it in about a week. I mean, I thought immediately upon seeing Tom Brady in the Tampa Bay jersey that it looked weird. But by the time week 1 rolled around, I thought it was normal. Like, it just was okay with me. And that's just kind of how we work because the players switch teams so often now, whether that be the NBA, the MLB, the NFL, and so on and so forth.